Hello everybody, I'm your host Wheel Trouble, and let's get this episode started off right by just having you already off the gate smash like, subscribe, and share this with all your friends. Support me on Patreon. Okay, episode over, or we can go ahead and have a reality check on motorcycles in terms of luxury versus practicality. You can make your decision in 3, 2, 1, and okay, I guess we're doing this episode, aren't we? Alright, so let's define our terms. We have luxury, which is a noun, the state of great comfort and extravagant living. Then we have practical, adjective, suitable for a particular purpose or sensible and realistic in their approach to a situation or problem. So, first question, and probably the most important, can a motorcycle be a car replacement? In a perfect world, yeah, sure, no problem. Some countries, they're already doing that. Motorcycles and motor scooters are just common modes of transportation in those countries. Lane splitting and lane filtering allows a lot more people into a lot smaller footprint, so it makes the congestion just a little bit more manageable. And the lower fuel costs on some bikes can create savings that you just aren't going to see on a car, period. My CBR 250R got 73 real-world miles per gallon with my 200 fat butt on it. My Yaris, 31 miles per gallon. Both are fuel efficient, but the CBR 250R was faster and more efficient when it comes to just commuting, just me, going to work with my gear. And that's both riding gear and work gear. And adventure touring bikes will give you more space, and cruisers are a great option as well if you just need more trunk space and to get your work stuff or whatever. And rather than monthly trips to the grocery store, you could just go once per week, and that creates smaller, more manageable loads. And also, Amazon and companies like Blue Apron, this is not a plug for them, it's just acknowledging facts, have almost made grocery store runs obsolete. It's easy just to make somebody else do the run now. Walmart is already experimenting with delivery services because they know they're getting their butts kicked by Amazon. So, why would you choose a car over a bike? Especially now that public transit's a thing in some areas, and motorcycling is cheaper by a long shot. Well, let's just acknowledge the Mother Nature is a derogatory term for a dog. While rain gear and heated seats and grips and things like that, visor tech, all that stuff is nice. Heated gear has come a long way. A car is just gonna be more comfortable. And I realize that there's all sorts of neat things and gadgets and spiked tires and this and that, but you know what? My Canadian brethren can go ahead and poke fun at me all they want. I'm shutting down at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Get over it. I would prefer to be more comfortable at that point. And also, cars are just safer by design. You got seatbelts, airbags, and even having a metal cage all around you aid in keeping you safe from just nature, flora, fauna, you name it. And there's another elephant in the room that motorcyclists don't really want to talk about just because we don't like thinking about it, and that's the simple fact that you actually do age out of motorcycling. Yes, it's true, you age out of driving too, but it's much later. By like a few years, typically, because at some point, the balance is just not there for you anymore. A car allows somebody who's lost that sense of balance to commute for a little bit longer in their life. This isn't an argument against starting on a bike, but rather the acknowledgement that inevitably, you're gonna have to get a car or a trike or something like that. And also, you've got group commuting that you just can't do on a bike as well. Now, sure, I can buy 2 bikes for the cost of a car to transport my family of 4. But that's only after the children reach a certain maturity level, and that's not necessarily an age, that's an actual maturity. And you'll see that in future videos, you'll see me riding with a child. He's the kid I've been teaching to ride, so he's developed enough fear and common sense to know not to panic. And so babies don't have that, and if you've got babies, you're stuck in a car. Don't get me wrong, we've all seen the comical memes of baby carriers on motorcycles, but I couldn't get that past my wife in a heartbeat. I tried. I did try, actually. For those of you wondering, it didn't happen. So then, is a motorcycle a luxury? Is a car? Well, both have luxurious elements. A car takes nature out of the picture as much as possible. For some people, that is a luxury. A motorcycle lets you have a more tactile experience. For some people, that's a luxury. The answer is going to depend on your geographical location in terms of luxury versus practicality. The farther north you go, the harder it is to live with just a bike. As I mentioned, weather. Motorcyclists of legend who rode all year round, regardless, they were all in warmer climates. We're talking Texas, Florida, California, tropical areas. At my current latitude, I would say that I still need a car on occasion. Because of that, I would either need public transit or ride sharing for inclement days if I had no car. So I will admit, though, I ride my bike far more than I drive. Even so, there's days where I'm just not going to deal with the elements. I live in the Midwest, and there's some days, especially during the spring and the fall, where we have incredibly high winds that'll rock a car, and a motorcycle would be blown off the road. Those of you who live in Nebraska know exactly what I'm talking about. I rode through there once, and that was weird. Oh, man, I wished my motorcycle was shaped more like a bullet in that point. Hail, torrential downpours, yeah, again, I'll take the car. That's not me wussing out. That's just me going, this just is not fun anymore. So the bike is both in my mind. It's a luxury, sure, but it's also practical in the right circumstance. And that's the thing. That's the caveat. If you're single, maybe, but have a backup plan, friends or public transit. If you're married or you got great roommates, sure, bikes are incredibly practical. We have 2 vehicles in my household. One is a car, one is a bike. I have an employee at my job. Same thing. She would take the truck, he would take his Harley. It works, but that's only if weather is permitting it. So, final verdict here, I'm going to have to say it as much as I hate to admit it, the bikes are a luxury item. And as much as I want to say otherwise, in my area, as most of my audience, where social demands place the scales firmly in the car's favor, or actually more in a truck's favor, even though the bike is more economical, it took me getting to a stage in my life where I could afford to get back into riding. Workplace demands and social demands just made the car the right tool for the job for daily life. Having said that, now that I have a bike, I do ride the ever-loving hell out of it, often going weeks without touching the car. So, I do have that four-wheeled backup and somebody else to ensure that it stays in working order and doesn't fall into disrepair for those times that I do need it. So there you go. That's my take on motorcycling in terms of need versus want. And again, smash like, subscribe, share, support me down on Patreon. It's patreon.com/wheeltrouble. Pretty easy to remember. And I'll see you guys next time. Wheel Trouble out.